Hi everyone, I think I'm live now. So I'm doing a little test this morning in terms of bringing to you Make Your Morning from what you'll see is a different location. So I've moved my setup to my living room now, and it's a much more comfortable, spacious setup for me. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about creating that positive environment when you're working from home. So I've also brought to you this session this morning using a kind of, I'm really in a mode of just, I'm trying out lots of different things. So I am using Zoom this morning to just go live on YouTube as well, because I've been having a few issues with YouTube. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try out, I'm going back to what I know, Zoom, and I'm going to just be trying out a few things, different things this week and seeing what works best. So please do stick with me through it. And for today's topic, we're going to talk about creating that kind of positive environment when working from home, because obviously news at the weekend in England and also ongoing in Scotland is for a lot of us, we're going to be working from home for a good bit longer. So how do we create as positive an environment as possible? So you'll see a few different things that I've got on the screen here, and that'll kind of stimulate a little bit discussion for this session this morning. So you might see in the background that I've got a stack of multicoloured drawers. And I find these really, really useful just in terms of having something that you can move about. Okay, so my ones are on wheels. And also something that you can just kind of make sure everything is organised in. Now, I'm not going to say that my drawers here are perfectly organised, but it's a great way of just making sure that everything is kind of put away and not sitting out on tables, etc. There is definitely something I certainly find when I'm running workshops, it's really, really important that I've got a kind of clear space as well. So it's not everything's kind of like in front of me and making me feel like, okay, well, where are my notes and where are this? Just actually having a really clean space is important as well. And I certainly think it is. So that's one thing. There was something that I heard on a video, and it talked about the 3 S's. So what can you see? So in your working from home environment, what is it that you can see right in front of you? Putting up some nice images, nice photographs can be great. Or something that's quite positive in front of you. It might be that you've got a little poem or a quote that you really like, something that you feel is quite positive to see. Also, I've shifted where I am sitting, so it's looking at a window as well. So bringing in that natural daylight as well can be really, really great, and especially when we don't have as many daylight hours at the moment too. So what you can see is important. Also, another S is what can you smell? So in terms of your environment, are there some nice aromas going on? I like candles. And yeah, basically making sure that you are changing up the smell in your environment can really help. You know, when you go into a shop, for example, and it's beautiful home baking smell, that isn't always by chance. You know, a lot of when we go into shops, that's actually been created to encourage or entice people to buy certain products. But in our home, how can we create quite nice aromas? You know, you get things like lavender or different plants that create nice smells as well. How can you bring a little bit of the outdoors indoors? You'll also notice up here on this slide that I've got an image here around kind of clouds and outdoor and in nature too. And I often think sometimes it can be good for us, even though it's a little bit chillier now, just to open the window and bring in that freshness too. Or even better, in between meetings, if you can go outside and just get a little bit of fresh air, have a quick walk around the block, can be a great way of just making sure that you're staying in that kind of positive working from home environment as well. You'll notice that I've got a little glass there of water. So actually keeping ourselves hydrated is really important as we kind of go through our day as well. They recommend 2 to 3 litres a day. I've just bought myself a big kind of bottle. It's like a 2-litre bottle, just so that I'm making sure that I'm drinking enough water as we go through the day as well. So sometimes it's the really simple things that can make a difference, but just keeping us hydrated helps with our energy levels as well. You'll have seen in the image here that I've got on the screen that, you know, there's a kind of desk area, and obviously if possible for you to have a dedicated space is great, but as I'm talking about myself, making the best of the environment that you've got and maybe changed it up a little bit. So I've been working a lot in my kitchen since the beginning of lockdown. I thought, you know what, I need a change of scene. I want to create this kind of more positive environment for me. I've got, you may have seen them on some of the kind of sites online on Amazon. I've got this, what I can only describe as what looks like an ironing board, but it's basically an adjustable desk so that I can stand up if I want when I'm running sessions, or I can be seated too, and it gives me a nice space as well to work on. And as well, when you're on kind of video calls and things like that, I use a webcam so that you can get more kind of direct eye contact. Do you have the right microphone, lighting, that sort of stuff? Play about with it, because actually it can make a real difference to when you're then engaging with people, what they're seeing, and how easy it is for them to listen to you as well. And that comes on to one of my, or the final S that I wanted to talk to you about is sound. So what can you hear in your working from home environment? Music can be brilliant at the start of the day, middle of the day, afternoon, when you're needing a little bit of a lift, any point in the day, especially when you're in this kind of home environment on your own for a lot of the time. Music can be a great way to uplift, but also something that I like in terms of sound is when I guess I've maybe got half an hour where I don't have a call, I often like to listen to audiobooks as well. So Audible is brilliant for this, and you can download most titles on there. And just to have something in the background that's kind of stimulating a different approach, or some new ideas, or just something that's interesting to listen to as well, can be a great way of just getting that mental side of your well-being going as well. Also on here, we've got be positive. So you'll know, if you know anything about me, that I like to look at things in the most positive way possible. It doesn't mean I like stuff all of the time. It doesn't mean I'm currently enjoying all of what's going on. Of course not. But there's that bit about what can I control right now? What can you control right now? And you can control your working from home environment and make it as comfortable as possible for you. You can control what you're saying to yourself and how frustrated you're getting about things. If you're feeling anxious, that's a new word, so a bit nervous or anxious, then we can just start to bring down our kind of heart rate by focusing on our breath. So something really simple to do, if you're starting to feel that kind of nervous tummy or that tightness in the chest, is what's called kind of count to four, and out for more than four. So hand on stomach area, hand on chest. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale everything out for more than 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just continue in that pattern. So in for 4, hold for 4, and out for more than 4. And just see how that works for you. But do it as many times as you need to just bring yourself into a calmer place. Also making sure that there's potentially space in your working from home environment to do a little bit of exercise, just jumping up and doing a few jumping jacks. We did it on our session last week, a few high knees, a few stretches as well. And we'll kind of look at some of that later on this week again. So there's a few things to get you thinking about. How tidy is your space? How energized are you keeping yourself in terms of that exercise? What can you smell? What aromas have you got going on? What can you see? Can you be in front of natural light? So again, it's bringing in, any sunlight that we are getting. What can you hear? To what sounds? What music have we got on in our environment? Are we listening to audiobooks? All these sorts of things can really, really help as well. Also, I think making sure that you're staying connected to colleagues, friends, and family too. So, is there someone you haven't caught up with for a little while that you can pick up the phone or jump on Zoom with, or go for a walk and talk as well? It's something I'm encouraging a lot of people to do over the next few months instead of being attached to the screen all the time. Pick up your phone, put on your trainers, get your headphones in, go for a walk and chat to somebody at the same time. It can be a really nice way of getting some exercise and also catching up or having that meeting that might have been in front of the computer, but actually you can get that fresh air as well. So that's a few things for you to think about here in terms of your working from home environment. And I might kind of continue this topic tomorrow, and I'll see what feedback I get from the session today. But looking at setting yourself healthy boundaries is probably one of the things that I'm hearing from people is quite a challenge for a lot of people. So setting yourself a specific start and finish time can be really useful, again, when you're working from home, because it's easy to just continue and sit at the laptop and not have that dedicated kind of close time. And similarly, a lot of people, because they don't have the commute and they're not kind of traveling into work, are maybe starting a little bit earlier as well. So how do you ensure that you're setting healthy start and finish times? And it relates to the image that's in the middle of the screen here, which is around the diary. Now, not everybody uses a work diary, but I would recommend, if you aren't already doing so, to give it a real try, because it can be great to actually chunk out your day into certain areas that you want to focus on, but also to make sure that you're putting your breaks in there, your lunch in there, and you're maybe putting a little bit of time in there to do some exercise through the day just to keep you energized. I know a number of my customers are really encouraging people to do that as well. So it's a great way to just be really visible of what you're doing in the day. And sometimes we'll put in bits of time, for example, for our own personal development or reading or preparing for something. And then somebody will ask us, oh, can you meet me at this time? Or can we have a conversation? And we think, oh yeah, I can, because it's something that's flexible. But I always say, if we're changing this time, if we're not taking this time, actually move it to another space within your week. So don't just forget about the time. It's the same when we're maybe trying to work on more projects, or we feel like we're always kind of dealing with things that are quite reactive. I often think if we can start by doing that type of work at the beginning of the day, then it means that it gets done, and then we've got all the rest of the time to be reactive. But how we start our day, as you know, this is what these sessions are all about, is so important. So actually taking that focused time to really understand what it is that you want to do in your day can be so, so useful. I can't overestimate the need to take more breaks right now. So I'd really, really encourage you to ensure that you're taking a break at least every hour. And that's even just in between calls, making sure that you don't have back to back to back to back. Making sure you've got at least 5 minutes, stretch the leg, get some water, get a cup of tea, get outside, look at your notes, regroup for the next kind of meeting, rather than just hitting end and then going straight on to the next one there as well. And I think it can be really helpful. You'll notice I've got start and finish, but I've also got wind down there. It can be really, really helpful to have a couple of times throughout the day where you're just going to do a bit of relaxation. So I love meditation. Short 5-minute stints of that can really help. Also, it might be that you want to do a short burst of exercise. You want to go and walk even just to the end of the street and back. It can really, really clear your head and support in this kind of working from home environment as well. And you'll notice too that I've got that little image there of the phone. Your phone can actually be really useful. A lot of the time phone gets a bad press that we're addicted to our phones and all that sort of stuff. Actually, the phone can be great for setting alarms to remind you of breaks and remind you of when the kind of next meeting is, etc. So I think just really using your phone in a positive way for apps as well, like some of your kind of ones around meditation, Headspace, Insight Timer, Calm, all that sort of stuff can be really, really good as well. So just using all the tools that you've got to set yourself some healthy boundaries. Nobody can do it for you, and I think that's what's tricky, because it's you that's in control of your time and how you use it as well. But I think it's really for me, it was all about kind of reframing how I see time and how I see my productivity, and getting really clear on where am I spending most of my time in a day as well, and where could I better spend it, and what would help in terms of my energy levels overall. So I hope that's been really useful for you this morning. Hopefully the share and everything has worked live to YouTube. And yeah, look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning for another session of Make Your Morning. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so below. And also you can find me over on Facebook at Karen Bonner, and LinkedIn as well, just through my own name. So you can search there. And also on my website, there's loads of free resources for you, karenbonner.com. Thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again later this week. Take care. Bye.